Okay. So good morning, friends. As usual, we must always start with a prayer. And let's start with a half-a-minute prayer to the divine, because I believe without prayer, nothing moves. Nothing can ever be done, said without the grace of God. Let's have a half-minute prayer. And certainly today, we must have a tremendous prayer within our heart for all the brothers and sisters in Afghanistan. They're suffering. In their own country, they're suffering. So let's have a special prayer for these brothers and sisters of humanity. And our honest and sincere prayer for them will certainly have a great impact. Let's pray for them, my friends. Thank you, my friends. Last satsang, I was talking about a success triangle, and one of the arms, we said it's called an attitude. And we also defined what attitude means. It means quality and direction of your thought process with which you react to the world. I repeat, quality and direction of your thought process with which you react to the world is an attitude. However comfortable our life could be, but there's certain moments in our life which bring tremendous amount of anxiety in our lives. Suddenly we are surrounded with anxiety. A mother gets so anxious if the child is half an hour, 45 minutes late coming from the school. She feels so anxious. Yes, mother has a heart, but then she becomes so anxious. What could have happened to my child? I hope it is safe. I hope it is all fine. Within half an hour, 45 minutes of child coming late, mother becomes so anxious. We may say it's a bit natural, but then being anxious is not our natural state. It is our attachment to the child which makes us so anxious. And we start creating different pictures in our mind. Negativity flows in ourself so quickly and so fastly. The example is simple. My child is 40 minutes late. Moment that happens, ask yourself, what is the thought structure which is going inside you? This bloody world is nonsense. This world is so unsafe. I don't know whether my child is safe or not. I don't know. I told my child, come back home quickly from the school, but the child doesn't understand. It's always so playful. But you never know, the child must be having a wonderful time with his friends, playing marbles or playing cricket. Yes, I'm not saying child should not be disciplined. Yes, child should be disciplined, but sometimes it could happen that child may get delayed for one reason or the other. But moment my child comes late, why should I always start thinking in a negative pattern? That's an attitude. Why can't I change that pattern into something positive, something constructive? Yes, definition of attitude is quality and the direction of your thought process with which you react to the world. It could have been, yes, it's okay, I know my child is very responsible. My child must have gone to her friend's place or maybe busy playing with the games. I'm sure my child will come back happy and enjoying and absolutely safe and sound. There's another thought structure. Maybe we have to ask ourselves, what is my mind expert in? The quality of our life will depend upon the quality of our mind. I'm sure you must have heard the name of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He was a great saint of Bengal, Swami Vivekananda's guru. He used to beautifully say in Bengali, Lojja Grina Bhoy Tin Thakite Noy. Means, as long as you have lajja, there's shame. Grina means hatred. And bhoy, as fear in your life, you cannot take a one step forward towards God. He was very clear. Lojja, Ghina, Bhoy, Tin Thakite Noy. As long as these three are part of your life, rest assured, you will not be able to take a single step towards God. It means we have to really ask ourselves how deeply they are in our hearts. Shame, hatred, and fear. And today is a Raksha Bandhan. I want to spend some time on the second point, that is hatred. And my master used to say, these three qualities which we have deep-rooted in ourselves, there is a shame, hatred, and fear, must be replaced in our life. We must replace them in our life. And today I'm going to talk to you how you can replace hatred in the life. Because today is Raksha Bandhan. Today represents a day of a divine love between brother and a sister. Today we celebrate this day. Sister is always passing on her love to her brother's protection, brother's success, brother's growth. I have beautiful sisters of mine. I'm anyway tying the Rakhi before I sat in front of you. My sisters send me the Rakhis with the beautiful letters and notes. And I have one lovely eldest sister called Shami, who lives in Nagpur. Oh my God, the kind of blessings she and my other sisters, Anju and Situ, send me are mind-blowing. They're so beautiful. They are the reflection of pure divine love of a sister for the brother. And my eldest sister, Shami, will always start the note that Day and night, my prayers are, God showers grace, love, and blessings over you. Crore time means billions and billions of times. Our love is so intense. Sister's love, my sister's love is so intense. And I'm sure your sister's love for you is so intense. And brother must reciprocate. And I celebrate today's day, Raksha Bandhan, and today I become a Subhadra. And I'm sure Subhadra is very, you know the character and the nature of Subhadra. She was a sister of Krishna. Today I take a Rakhi and I have a beautiful statue of Krishna in my home. I go and tie the Rakhi to Krishna as a Subhadra, and I have tremendous tears in my eyes. I look at Krishna, I feel so connected. The flow of love between this heart of a Subhadra, I feel being Subhadra. How do you feel being Subhadra? You can feel the infinite love of Krishna around you. This love is so very important for a man to be really sane. And what happens in our lives? Somewhere or the other, hatred seeps in our hearts. My master used to give a beautiful example. He says, love is like a pure nectar. Love is like a pure nectar. Imagine you have a huge bowl, and in the bowl you have, it's all overflowing with the nectar called your love. And your hatred is like a poison. It's like a poison. Now imagine, even if one drop of poison falls into the vessel of love, which is a nectar. Tell me, my friends, can you drink that nectar? I'm asking. Ajit, can we drink that nectar?
No, we cannot.
No. But I say it's only one drop. It's only one drop which has fallen. It is full with love. Just one drop of poison. Why can't you drink it? Yes, we cannot drink it. But we must ask ourselves, isn't our heart like that vessel, which is full of love, but there are so many drops of poison which have got mixed inside it? No wonder our life does not make sense many times. The so-called anxiety, the fear, the hatred, the jealousy. We feel in our life on and on. But today I want to make it very clear to my loved friends. You have no option. You have no option even to nurture the smallest hatred towards anybody in this world. Even your worst enemy you cannot hate. You must never hate. Because it is said, hatred, do not cease by hatred. By love alone, it ceases. It says, hatred, do not cease by hatred. By love alone, hatred ceases. We must be disciplined enough. We must be loving enough that I refuse to entertain any hatred towards anyone in this world. There is no other way. Yes, my enemies may have their own reasons for being what they are. But I don't want to be fooled to add poison to my inside, and I refuse to live by this poison. I must live only with infinite love and nothing else. Because the tagline of Apocenter says, love alone is the law of life. There's no other law of life. If we can make this love itself the center of our life, everything in this world, everything in your life, everything in my life will be a cakewalk. Am I clear, friends?
Yes.
However difficult it is, we have to take a vow. What Sri Ramakrishna said, that if I have to move forward towards my spiritual evolution, if we need to move towards the spiritual understanding and spiritual way of living, we must imbibe within us the real spirit, which is infinite, unconditional love. We must always live with infinite, unconditional love, however tempting and however challenging it could be. Don't nurture the hatred inside you. We must always pass on our love even to our own worst enemies. They actually come in front of you to challenge you, to test you, whether you are really on a path divine. So they expose us to us, whether my so-called love is still with me. You can say, everything is fine. I love my wife, I love my daughters, I like my brothers, I like my mother, I like my sisters, I love everybody. But that son of a gun, I cannot forget. He has really cheated me. He has taken away my money and not giving me money back. He has created all the nonsense in my life. Yes, you can see all that. But then by nurturing hatred towards that person, you are making him right. Yes, he's adding the poison in your mind. You're making him right. He has been sent by the divine person. He has been sent by the divinity to challenge you, to see whether you can still love or whether you'll be toppled down by a little bit of a cheating or a whatever your so-called enemy does to you. There can never be any enemy for you. Yes, world will behave the way world behaves. I can't change the world, but I can certainly change my own very nature and self. Dr. Pramila,
Hello, good morning.
Yes, I have muted her. Okay. No, it disturbs my flow. Yeah, Dr. Parimala, I have muted you. Please keep it muted because your, I think, office, some little noise is there. Okay. No, I was talking about, I break my sequence. I broke my sequence. Okay. Now we're talking about your so-called enemy. Actually, that your enemy can be turned into your best friend, because that enemy has come to show you the mirror. That enemy has come to show you the mirror that, hey, buddy, I can still trouble you. I can still shake your peace inside you. And then if you're awakened, you must understand that my enemy has been sent to wake me up, that I have not learned yet how to experience and live with infinite, unconditional love. Love must be unconditional. If there is a condition in a love, it's no love at all. I love you because you take care of me. I love you because you're so wonderful thing. I love you because moment there is a because after love. Please understand it is conditional love. It is not unconditional love. We must come to that understanding of life where I say, I love you in spite of you. I love you in spite of you. My loving you has nothing to do with how you react and how you behave with me. I shall always love. So, second point of Sri Ramakrishna, that hatred must be replaced by love. Please make it a part of your life. However challenging the situations could be, however challenging the people could be, you have to ensure that you will refuse to nurture even a speck of a hatred in your heart. Because love only is sensible. With hatred, life becomes senseless. So let's make a choice, my friends. So that was my opening message for today's Raksha Bandhan. Love between brother and sister, love between Subhadra and Krishna. So today I become Subhadra and I have a rolling tears in my eyes when I look at Krishna. And Krishna in that wooden statue relates with me. I look at it and gives a small peck on the cheeks of my Krishna. It is such a wonderful feeling. At that moment, Krishna is so alive. And I am so alive. That's what life is. Without love, life has no sense. It is senseless. It is the same rotten thing which we are experiencing. So let's make love the only force of our life. Let's make unconditional love our only source of spirit and energy. And now I will move on to the second part of the satsang. Ajit, you may have to see my old recording so that you can get a sequence.
Okay.
Whatever you can, maybe free time, you can go through them because you're joining it first time. The last satsang, We spoke about the 4 kind of people. The mineral man, we spoke about the vegetable man, we spoke about the animal man, we spoke about the human man, human beings. The 4 kind of people in this world. Mineral human beings, vegetable human beings, animal human beings, and true humans. We call them true human beings. And we also said, what makes them so? What makes them so? Then we said, they all are same. Physically, they are all same. They are different only psychologically. They are different only psychologically. And then we spoke a bit about the 3 equilibriums. One was a restless state of mind, restless equilibrium. We said these people are always addicted to something or the other. They cannot stand on their own. They always need a prop. On their own, they cannot stand even for a moment. They could be addicted to smoke or a cigarette or a social media or a gossip or something or the other. They have something in life with which only they can sustain and survive. Otherwise, mentally they are very disturbed. We were talking about psychological states. 3 psychological states we spoke. The first one was imbalance, imperfect equilibrium. Imperfect equilibrium. No, sorry, the first one was restless equilibrium. The second was imperfect equilibrium. Those people are okay the way they are. They're comfortable if everything is going on fine and beautifully. Moment there is a small push and a small push and disturbance from the world, the equilibrium of the mind gets disturbed. They're okay as it is. They can manage on their own. They can move on their own. But suppose there is small disturbance from the outer world or a poking from an outer world, they lose their equilibrium, and we call it imperfect equilibrium. And then we said, we spoke about perfect equilibrium. These people get no shaking at all in the world. That doesn't mean they're dead, they're very alive. Nothing in this world can shake them, nothing in the world can disturb the peace of their mind. I'm sure there is nobody who wants to live a life which is full of non-peace. Everybody wants to be in a peaceful life. But why do we lose our peace so often? The perfect equilibrium is person faces life head on. Person is not an escapist. Person faces the life the way a life folds and unfolds. However tragic, however challenging the life could be, the person retains its poise. Person retains its peace of mind. It's only with a peace of mind you can think clearly. No disturbed mind, you can think clearly. So last satsang, we were talking about these. And then we said, how do we move forward? And today I'm going to tell you how you can move forward. If we have to evolve ourselves and come to a state where we want to experience the perfect equilibrium, we need actions. Nothing in this world can be done without actions. So we need actions. Today we are going to talk about how do we evolve through our own actions. If I have to move from restless equilibrium to perfect equilibrium, I need to act. It will not happen on its own. On its own, nothing happens. Me just sitting and saying things will change, things will not change. The world is perfect on its own. These are all internal mental turmoils and internal psychological corrections which are needed, and we need an action. And today the subject is evolution through action. We need to act. And one of the satsangs, I had made it very clear to you what is the internal thought process. No, for me to act, I must understand my internal thought process. And we said we as human beings have 5 senses, right? Through these 5 senses, we take the stimuli from the world. And this stimuli, the information we take from the world, goes inside us, and there is a machinery inside called mind and intellect. This information gets churned inside, and then we react to the world outside. This is how the actions happen. See, when you are sleeping in the night, in a deep, deep dream state, world does not exist for you. There is no world for you. And imagine when you get up in the morning and you find none of your senses are working. How will you feel? If your 5 senses are not working when you get up in the morning, how will you feel? You will feel as if you don't exist. It's only your 5 senses which make you relate with the world. And 5 senses are the most powerful tools which the Creator has given us. Now, these 5 senses go on gathering the information goes inside, there's a churning happens with the mind and intellect, and then there is a response back to the world outside. In that last satsang, I said, imagine I look at a pretty woman. Imagine I look at a pretty woman. So through my sense called I have taken information inside me that there's a pretty woman. Now, this information has gone inside me and churning takes place, and depending upon the quality of my mind and intellect, that is a processing machine. Depending upon the processing of my mind and intellect, my 5 organs of action will respond. And imagine I have a bloody rogue of the first order. I will look at a pretty woman and say, wink her. Hi, darling. Let's go for the party. There's a process of your action. You have gathered the information, mind and intellect has churned it, and depending upon the quality of your mind and intellect, hi, darling, let's go for a party. Now imagine that I'm a sage. Imagine I'm a good man. I look at the pretty lady. Information goes inside. churning happens. The quality of my mind and intellect and response happens. Vanakkam, how are you? You look so divine and so beautiful. You look like a Devi itself. Yeah, the second response. Now tell me, where did the difference happen? Where was the difference? How did my actions change? Where does my action change? My 5 stimuli are gathering the information, churning happens and respond happens. Friends, can you tell me, where is this change happening? What changes the quality and response of my action? I want a response. Ravi, where could be the response changing? How the response changes? At what place the response changes? You're mute.
In your mind?
Oh, yes, you're right. My stimuli is same. My response changes depending upon purity, quality of my mind and my intellect. As simple as that. Now, I'm giving just a small example. There's a friend of mine who has a chemical industry. He gave a call and say, Manjeet, why don't you come and inspect my factory? I'm going through a hell of a loss. I have the best of machinery available in this world. But then I'm going through a hell of a loss. I don't know what is the problem. You're a management person. Why don't you come and have a look? I said, okay, I will come and inspect your factory. So Manjeet goes and does the thorough inspection of the factory and says, buddy, I'm going to do some research and work. Give me a week's time. I'll come back to you. After a week, I go back and tell my friend, hey, buddy, the problem in your chemical manufacturing plant is you have bloody useless purchase managers. You have appointed 5 purchase managers. They're absolutely corrupt. They're absolutely dishonest. Even though you have a machinery which you got from Germany, because your 5 managers, purchase managers are buying the substandard stuff, substandard materials, machinery goes and processes and works it out, and before your product reaches the bloody end user, it has lost its life. So this is the real cause and problem with your factory. So what should I do? My friend asked. Manjeet Singh told, hey buddy, you have only option is either you sack those 5 managers or you have to bloody train them. You have to train them how your industry and your factory must work. And then you must give break on the overhauling of your machinery. Because in the whole process of your machinery, which was perfect German machinery, because it has been using all substandard materials, it has already gone very pathetically bad. Imagine you have a Mercedes car. Maybe by first time, by mistake, you fill it with the diesel or with the kerosene, it may run. It happened with me once. I had bought Corolla car, brand new car, and I was going to Tiruvannamalai. On the way, I got it filled up. I don't remember what happened. I got the car filled up, and after maybe 10 minutes, it was started giving me jerking. I wondered what is happening. It's a new car. Why should it happen? Whenever there is a little low brake, it will stop. Again, started. I got confused. Anyway, somehow I managed. I went to Tiruvannamalai, parked my car, lived there for 3 days, came back by car, and the oil got over. Then I got it filled up. And after I did a second filling, my car was moving beautifully. Then suddenly I remembered, oh my God, maybe by mistake, the petrol bunk person filled it up with diesel. Yes, it happened. Then I checked the list, my bill, it was mentioned diesel. So my Corolla car, Japanese technology, runs beautifully on a petrol. The poor car must have gone through a hell. 35 liters of diesel it has to drink. So that's what happened. So I told my friend, even though your technology, your machinery is a perfect German technology, because substandard material has been serviced through it, they need an overhauling, they need a rest. Only then things can change. Now, my friends, this example is taken to my life called a human factory. I also have 5 purchase managers. They are my 5 senses. Now we must ask ourselves what quality of the information is going inside my mind through those 5 senses. Is the quality of the raw material. So what is the raw material with which we are living our life? We are living, our human factory runs on the raw material collected by the 5 senses from the world. And then it goes inside and there's a mind and body, mind and intellect journey happens. Imagine you are driving in a car and you see a beautiful hoarding of a pretty lady, half naked almost, selling an underwear garment. By mistake, you look at her once, and depending upon how much your senses are trained, you may tempt to see again. No, this is where my purchase manager must be disciplined. Manjeet must discipline the purchase manager and tell the purchase manager, I want the best and pure information from the world outside. Our mind will always tempt us with these temptations. And every time I fall to the temptation, I become slave. So we must understand that these 5 senses must be trained to pick up the information which is high standard, purified, because throughout our life, what information has been going inside, we should be able to ask ourselves. And because if my raw material is not healthy, they have spoiled our mind and intellect also. So our mind and intellect also needs a pause. It needs a break. That's why we talk about meditation. That's why we talk about sitting in a silence. Training our mind is very important. So if we have to move from the restless state to the perfect state of equilibrium, this action process is very important for us to understand. I want us to understand this most powerful 5 purchase managers are very, very important in our life. Without them, you have no life. Now, can you live without your senses? No, you cannot. My senses must be with me. Only then we can relate with the world. We can't shame and name the senses. We have to do the training process of training these senses. I'll give another example. Shall I give another example? Yes, another example. The police of Bombay, they used to say it's one of the best police in India. One of the best police. Let's not go into the present happenings, but police of Bombay was supposed to be one of the best police. Personally, I don't know, but then we presume they are really very good. No, this police and the armed forces, no, they have something called sniffer dogs. No, sniffer dogs. Oh yeah, they're highly trained sniffer dogs. 2 days back, we got a beautiful news that 3 army jawans called Maya, Ruby, and Bobby have been brought from Afghanistan. No, those jawans are the 3 sniffer dogs. Now, they're so very important to the armed forces. They are given an equal status the way the armed men in the uniform are given. They are a very powerful tool of any armed forces. Whenever there is any theft, what do these police departments do? Or whenever there is any terror attack and they want to catch the terrorists, they always use the sniffer dogs. They take the sniffer dog either to the terrorist's home, try to find out any of his clothes or his house itself. If they find a cloth, they rub the cloth to the nose of the sniffer dog, or they will go they will go to the place where the theft has happened. They will make the dogs retain that smell, and then they leave the dogs. And then dogs run fast, helter and skelter, jumping left and right, going miles and miles, going into the forest, into the deep forest, and after a few kilometers, they find a small hut. The dog goes and stops there, starts rubbing its nose, and knocks on the door. The policeman knows that the culprit is inside. And you guess it. They catch the culprit. That's how the sniffer dog works. They're highly trained. Now imagine one day there is a theft in the governor's house, and the governor gives a call to chief minister. He says, what the hell? What state you have? What kind of police you have? My own home, there is a burglary, the thieves have entered. Then what can the chief minister do? Chief minister will give a call to the commissioner of the police. He says, hey man, your job is at stake. Within 24 hours, you must catch these culprits. So police commissioner says, okay, madam, I will do it. He goes to catch his 5 sniffer dogs, and then attendant says, "Sir, I don't know, somebody fed them something very badly. They had a food poisoning and they all died yesterday night itself." Oh, commissioner says, "Oh my God, how do I save myself? I have to save myself, I have to catch those thieves." Now imagine the commissioner says, "Hey, okay, doesn't matter. Go out and pick up some 5 dogs. Pick up five dogs from the street." They catch 5 dogs from the street, bring to the commissioner. Commissioner puts them in belt and then take them to the spot where the theft happened and then releases them. Now tell me what is happening now. These 5 dogs start running here and there, and suddenly they start smelling something so fresh, something so hot, something so beautiful. They look around, there is a fresh shit lying there. They will go and start picking. They get stuck. All the 5 dogs get stuck with the fresh shit on the road. Yeah, that's what happens when my 5 senses behave like stray dogs, like street dogs. Ajit, what do they call street dogs in Malayalam?
Terupatti.
Huh?
Terupatti.
Tirupatti. Okay. Ravi, what do they call in Tamil?
Terunai.
Huh?
Terunai.
Yes. I may not be able to repeat these words. We must understand and ask myself, is my dog Terunai? Is my senses, are my senses like this Terunai? They go and pick up bloody shit in the world outside. And I wonder, my life is not bloody working. How will my life work? My senses are not trained. They behave exactly like a bloody street rogue dog. They're happy licking the shit of the world. When I say the shit of the world, I don't have to elaborate it. I'm sure we all know it. If my sense of hearing is like a stray dog, it will be very happy listening to the negative discourses. It will be very happy listening to the gossip. It will be very happy listening to all the bloody stuff which is going on in this world. My eyes will be seeing only what is so tempting. My mouth will be only talking a foul language. My tongue will be tasting all the bloody wrong things in this life. I may never understand how to live a healthy life. And my touch will be always very, very vulnerable. Okay, no, we must understand that you must become the top police commissioner of your life. Your intellect must be the commissioner of your life. Mind, unless the mind cooperates, the senses cannot operate. My mind must control my senses. And my commissioner, intellect, must tell me what is right for you. So this was another example of the 5 sales managers in a human factory. They are 5 senses, and we must train them. We must train them. If we don't train them, don't expect your life to do any change and bring any change in your life. No tilakam, no mala, no shaving on the head. No chanting may help unless there is a real change happening inside. I'm not saying that putting tilakam is not right, shaving a forehead is not right. I must do it with clear understanding why I'm doing it. Before I do that, I must shave the head of all my five senses. I must shave the head of all my five senses, bring them under my total control. We call it regimentation. The real change in our life will happen only with regimentation. I don't know how many of you remember the emergency of Congress. I was a small child. I don't know what emergency is, but as a small child, I saw that there is so much of cleanliness in my hometown, Jammu. There's so much of discipline. I remember those days for marriages, you will be allowed only 25 guests, and nobody could take more than 25 guests. For 6 months, it was going on all beautifully. And then people said, no, we want freedom, azadi, humko chahiye azadi. They all want freedom. Then what happened? Imagine we had an emergency for 15 years. We could have been a totally different place to live altogether. Another regimentation happened during the lockdown period. First 3 months, everybody was locked. Things came under control. But problem is, the moment the lockdown become little unlocked, the people go crazy. We don't want regimentation in our life. We want freedom. But we must understand, without responsibility, freedom can be misused. I met somebody yesterday, my car mechanic, very proudly saying, sir, I don't wear my mask. I have no problem, I have no fear. I said, go and hang yourself. You may not respect yourself, but you have no disrespect for somebody else on the road. You must have regimentation of following the protocol. We must understand the regimentation is absolutely important for us to live a life which has a meaning and a purpose. Only with that we can change and evolve ourselves from a mineral man to a true human person, true human being. On its own, change is not going to happen. For change, you need an action. For change, you need to work on it. And that working for your evolution from a mineral man to true human being is only through regimentation. I don't know whether you are ready or not. Are you ready to regiment yourself? I'm asking a simple question. Are you ready to regiment yourself?
Yes.
Yes, very much.
I don't say freedom is not good. Freedom is absolutely the greatest gift given only to human beings. No animal world has a freedom. Dog has not learned a new way of doing a pissing and shitting on the road. Dog and animals have been behaving the same way for millions of years. The real evolution has happened only in man. And that has happened because man has learned how to act. And freedom is the greatest gift given only to human beings. This is the greatest gift given to human beings, and we must respect this gift. And that respect is possible through a sense of total responsibility. If I want the freedom, everybody respects the freedom. So I cannot encroach my freedom on somebody else's freedom. So if you guys are ready for the regimentation, we shall wait for another week. So next satsang, we shall move forward on how we can regiment ourselves. Clear, friends? Yes, with this, today I close my satsang, I close my life experiences, I close my sharing. And now next half an hour, if there are any queries, if there are any clarifications, you can raise them. I can see whether I can clarify them. Yes, Ajit. Yes, Dr. Premila.
Yeah, I'll have to look into your previous recordings, because you started this by saying there are 4 types of human being in this world.
Yes.
So to get more picture, clear picture, I'll have to go and have a look at your previous.
Yeah, you can do that. I gave a recap of that. I gave a recap that the 4 kind of human beings. One is a mineral man, mineral human being. We have a vegetable human being. We have animal human being. We have true human beings. You can go back, but I will, as a discourse, I will just clarify whatever I can right now, because you raised this clarification. Mineral men are absolutely unmoved. They can't even do anything for their own survival. Like the rock, they will sit. Somebody has to take care of them. You look within your own family, within your own life, within your own circle, you will find a certain number of people who want to be taken care all the time. They won't move at all. They are only survival oriented, and the survival is the responsibility of the parents, or the brothers, or the sisters, of the society. They are the mineral man. They cannot do anything. The only thing they can do, they may eat the food on their own. They won't do anything more than that. And when these people slowly evolve themselves, they become vegetable human beings. Like in vegetable, there is a vertical growth. There is some growth is there. So these vegetable human beings are the people who can take care of themselves, take care of their bondati, take care of their children. That's all. Beyond that, they won't move their bum. You will find so many people in this world. Where is his old father and old mother? He doesn't care. What is happening to his own brother and sister? He doesn't care. He cares only for himself, his wife, and his children. That's all. Avadavan. Which finished. And you don't have to go very far off to find so many people like that. And when these people slowly evolve, they become animal human beings. Now, animal human beings are more dynamic. They can move around. They're more dynamic. They're more ferocious. Now, they can take care of not only their family, they can also take care of their own community. If you find a dog being beaten in the middle of the road, if the other dogs, they will come running, trying to save the dog. And if you find one crow on the terrace, when you go for a feeding a parrot, I suppose you find a crow being hurt, you will see all the crows come and take care of the crow. Okay? Now, these human beings work for they take care of their wife, they take care of their children, they take care of their parents, they take care of their brothers, sisters, they take care of their friends, and they take care of the society. Understand? They protect the clan. It's unfortunate that many of these animal human beings tend to become highly fundamentalist. The so-called the communal rights and so-called the terrorist attacks are the outcome of the animal human being. I'm not saying just because one part of the animal human beings are living like that, I shouldn't become an animal human being. I must go to the stage. See, it's the evolution process. You have to move from the one stage to the another stage. And when these human beings evolve themselves to the highest state, it's called true human beings. For true human beings, there is no caste, there is no creed, there is no religion, there is no color, there is no gender, there is no border, there is no country, there is no anything. The only thing for a true human being is humanity. For a true human being, it's pure humanity. He is a true human being. He lives only with the humanness within itself, with infinite, unconditional love. Last satsang, when I was giving a talk, we were celebrating India's independence. By the evening, I came to understand there's another country near me is going through hell. That's how we started our prayers for the brothers and sisters of Afghanistan. Yes, that's being true human being. Okay, so this was the 4 human beings we were talking about. And if you had to go before that, then you had to go back and see the other recordings. Yeah. Yes, Ajit.
Clear, sir. Clear. It's clear.
Clear? Yeah.
Thank you.
See, I remember once I have a trust, our company has a trust which gives education to highly talented children who are financially challenged for the professional education. So when I was sharing this information with some of my relatives, they said, I think we should first support the Brahmins. I just kept quiet. That's not me. That's not me. So why should I look at who is coming in front? For me, it's a beautiful gift of God. It's a beautiful divine creation of the Creator. Every human being is a reflection of God. My Creator didn't make these communities. My Creator didn't make these Brahmins and Kshatriyas and Shudras. No, it's a bloody man-made stuff. As a true human being, I must live beyond that. You know, when Ramakrishna, a small child, when he wanted to jump into the journey of a spiritual evolution, you know what he did first? He removed his punal and threw into the Ganges. For them, these are the ropes. The same thing Maharishi Ramana did it. The moment he came to understand, this is my journey, he took his punal and threw it. Not only punal, he threw everything except the line cloth. Because line cloth he has to wear because he has to respect the people sitting in front of him. Yes, if we want to live a life of a true human beings, I cannot be a North Indian. I cannot be a Dogra. I cannot be a Brahmin. I cannot be this. I cannot be that. I am in truth. I'm finding it difficult to utter the word. I want you to experience this. Yes, this is what it means. We are absolute divinity buried within ourselves. We got to be in touch with that divineness. That's when the life will make sense. Till then, we shall be existing in this world. Our true living will happen when you will get connected with the world. Beyond all ropes, we must cut all the ropes. Okay, yeah, that's how I feel life should be lived. Yes, Ravi, how are you?
A bit better.
Better?
A lot of challenging things within me.
You need to increase your volume.
Lot of challenging things have to accomplish within myself.
Oh yeah, they will happen. They will happen. They will happen. See, the moment you get awakened, everything starts falling in place. I will tell you, all our problems are related to our wrong knowledge. The knowledge is, I am this body. Okay? Now you see a picture behind me? Oh, that's my master. I'm only an instrument right now. I don't take any credit of what could be coming out of me. I completely surrender myself to my master. My true knowledge is very important. What is my true knowledge and true nature? My knowledge of my true nature is I'm not this body. This is what my Maharishi always believed. My Maharishi always said, you must always ask yourself, Naniyar, who am I? We must get this clarity of the thought, who am I? We must understand, we will reach back to the causeless cause, to the ultimate knowledge which we were talking about, moment you come to understand and feel the true nature of yourself. Whatever I may be sharing will be considered in a spiritual world a lie, because it is said, truth can never be retold. So who am I is, I cannot express you. Whichever way I may try to express you, it is getting colored with my mind. And my mind will leave some traces on that knowledge, so it makes it not completely true. So maybe it's okay, not totally true, I will share my experience. Ravi, this is a beautiful shirt you're wearing.
Oh, thanks, thank you.
And maybe after 5 years, this shirt will not be with you. So will you cry over the shirt?
No, change over.
Yeah, that's what our body is. We were never born, we will never die. Our true nature is that we are birthless. We are formless. Our true nature is that you are a divine spirit. Okay, but at least for your 5 years, you want to wear this shirt, you must clean it, no? You must clean it.
Yes.
Yeah, the same way your body is a shirt. Okay, now you may say, I'm the mind. No, you're not mind. In your deep sleep, your mind is absolutely gone. It's not there. Your senses are not there, your mind is not there, intellect is not there. But can you say that you are not there? Can you say you were not there?
No.
But who was there? That is your true essence. It means Manjeet Singh's, Ravi's, Isha's, Premila's, Ajit's true nature is that your true essence is beyond your body, beyond your mind, beyond your intellect, beyond your senses. Understand? So if you look at all my troubles in this world are either related to my body or my mind or my intellect. It's a play and a combination. Who gets disturbed? Who gets disturbed when something happens to you?
Mind is not clear.
No, it's your mind which gets disturbed. But then Maharishi always used to say, you say I am disturbed, you use the word I. Nani yaar? What is this I? You are so confidently saying, I am this, I will do this, I. Our life is full of I, but still we don't know what is this I-ness. So we are living with the incomplete knowledge of our own true nature and true self. Ravi, let me not go that far off. Let me ask a simple question. Whom do you worship?
Lord Ganapati.
Oh yes, Ganapati. Finished. Okay. Now, however difficult it is, however difficult, I won't say impossible, but it can be very difficult. However difficult it is, can you allow Ganapati to live in you for 24 hours?
No.
Yes, that's what has to be done. If I honestly and truly pray Ganapati, that Ganapati has to be brought from the statue of the Panchabhutas or the 5 Panchalohas or a stone and kept inside your heart. Now, can you take a leave for 24 hours and ask your mind not to interfere and tell your Ganapati, think through me, speak through me, and work through me. Tell me what is in this world which Ganapati cannot manage. Don't say yes or no. This has to be experienced inside. We have to, spirituality is that my God and me cannot be separate. My God is not here to sit in the puja and rule my life. My God is not for me to go and put a tilkam and a mala and put chin, 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 chin. My God is my own real self. Now me and my God has been divorced. We have never learned to live together. Am I clear, Ravi? This is why the spiritual understanding is important. Spiritual understanding happening when you leave the religion behind. Being religious is fine. But then my God is not only for 2 minutes prayer. No. My God must be 24-hour, moment to moment relationship. I'm telling you with my experience, every time you are in turmoil, every time you are tense, every time you are anxious, every time the life is not moving the way life should be, rest assured, at that moment you had divorced God. Yeah, life will not work. Life will work only when me and my God live together. God has never divorced. We have divorced the God because the world pulls us. Ravi, just for a joke, suppose tomorrow you find a much prettier woman. What will you do?
Will not find it.
Huh?
Will not be able to find it.
I know that is okay. Don't underestimate Ganesha. Ganesha will throw a beautiful, pretty woman in front of him. Oh yes, then you will be challenged, you know. So this world is so pretty. Oh wow, this world is so sexy, yaar. Sorry for using this unparliamentary language, but then this is how we understand life. The world is so tempting. World is so wow. World is this. World is this. World is bloody pulling you away, and you are divorcing God. Just for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, you go do your ritual. You feel you have done your job. No, you have only fooled yourself. I'm not saying I shouldn't sit in a prayer. Yeah, I must sit in a prayer. Before I sit here, I sit in my prayer. I surrender myself totally to my God and say, yes, it's your servant. Complete surrender. Live your life the way you want to live your life. That's all. So Ravi, life is very simple. Don't divorce God. And please understand, God is not a 5 minutes ritual. Life is not a God is not any ritual at all. God is living within yourself with beautiful spirit. Only then your intellect will start becoming purified. Imagine, Ravi, if your mind is as purified as Ganesha's mind. Imagine if your mind becomes as purified as your intellect as sharp and as clear as Ganesha's intellect. What can happen to you? That's why we say Vigneshwara. Why we call Ganesha Vigneshwara? All the vignas, all the obstacles of life should be cleared. They will become automatically cleared when Ganesha sits in your head. And then it's not your intellect, it's Ganesha's intellect. So whole process of our evolution is purifying this mind and intellect that you become, Ravi, a walking Ganesha. You know, when Ramakrishna used to do worship, he used to go such a trance, he'll start doing his own puja. He'll start putting flowers on his own head. Because that's the time he and his Devi were in complete union. That is our human goal of life. That we must experience this yoga, this union of Atman and Paramatman. Not after death. I'm not interested after death. We should experience in this very life. And somebody says, hey, no man, this is not an easy game, man. You have to take 7 janmas, all that. I said, okay, this is my 7th janma. Finished. This is the only life I have where I want to experience the unification and oneness with that divine power, and it is possible. Ravi, this is only my life experiences. They come through my mind. They will have some traces of my mind, but I want you to experience yourself. Is it clear, friends? So, friends, it is time up. It's 12 o'clock. So we shall close. We shall follow the discipline of time itself. Okay? So live your life well, enjoy well, celebrate life, and celebrate your life to the hilt without any guilt. Surrender yourself to the divine forces and say, divine forces, think through me, speak through me, and act through me. Never let your mind go astray. Whenever your mind is going astray, find a way to hook it. I have found a way to hook it is whenever my mind is free, I may be chanting some mantra. Very rarely off late, for at least last 10 years, very rarely I let my mind go astray. Whenever mind is not busy something, my mind is silently saying, Om Namo Narayana. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You can find your own hooking. You can find your own pegging. When you are busy doing some activity, don't worry about Om Namo Narayana. Be total into the act. The moment your act is complete, that's the time your mind will be pulled by the world. You have to stop. And then off late, when I get up in the night, somewhere in the night I get up, I hear very clearly, my mind is in a constant chanting, like a Shruti. My mind is constantly chanting Om Namo Narayana. That's my own observation. Okay, so enjoy your life, my friends. See you next Sunday. God bless you. I respect you all. I love you all. Jai Shri Krishna.